These putters are the easiest to align. What's happening, Panda Nation? Peter Von Panda here. I just bought these two putters, and they are by a company called MLA. MLA Golf right there. Now these are two different styles here, so I think this is called the Tour Blade, and then this one is like the Mallet, and so obviously I just wanted to check out two different shapes. But what makes these putters interesting is that MLA Golf has found its niche by making a unique design that goes on the top of the putter that is supposed to make aligning your putts super easy. And I think for a lot of trunk slammer golfers, new golfers, beginning golfers, that something like this makes a lot of sense, because I think a lot of people don't realize how hard it is to align putts. And part of that is because our eyes play tricks on us all the time. And I've seen guys line up, and I've seen guys just line up completely wrong, putt in exactly the same direction they're aimed at, and then are flummoxed when they see the ball go in that direction. So especially on the putting green, I think new golfers in particular really need something like this, but veteran golfers can also probably benefit from this. Now, MLA stands for Multiple Line Detector Activation. And after reading it, what I understand it to be is that multiple lines are better for aligning something than one line. And here is what they have come up with. Now, it's a really unique little design. Now, what I equate this to is that if you have multiple lines pointing towards anything, your brain has a better idea of where something is. It's kind of like parallax. You know, if you were to close one eye and just look at stuff, you don't have any depth perception. But because you have two eyes, you get two different angles to things, and you get this parallax, and that really helps. So on a lot of putters, we just have one alignment line, or maybe a couple that are right next to each other on the top of a putter. And that's been the technology forever, and yet that seems to be kind of archaic in many ways. So what I kind of equate this to is like when you're looking at a runway and all those lines kind of give you a better, fuller picture of where that putt is going to go. So what we have here is this little white C shape on the top of the putter here. It looks very similar to most of the blade style putters that you've seen here. It's got a nice metal finish. On the bottom, it's got this kind of half polished look. It's much more brushed or bead blasted on the top, so you don't get a reflection there, but it feels nice. I think this is some sort of like polyester insert in here. It has just a little bit of like milling all the way through, so it has a little bit of this ribbed texture here. Kind of feels like a vinyl record on top, but it's actually kind of soft, and it kind of gives you a little bit of a dull feeling when you putt, which is nice. It kind of takes the vibration out of it, but otherwise you get this lime green fill here. And if we take a look at this side, you have kind of a geometric pattern. I think the technology in the putter is probably pretty minimal. I don't see where they've put any weights here. There's nothing adjustable about it. It's certainly not like a Scotty Cameron with removable weights. What I've noticed here is that on the blade, at least, it's not really a face balanced. It's kind of a little bit more of a toe hang, but it doesn't hang quite like a toe hang. It kind of wants to hang just a little off center. Now, I would say that they could probably do some better balancing here. There's quite a bit of weight down here. And then we get this, I think it's a steel shaft, but there's no steps on it. Kind of reminds me of the shaft that I have in my lab golf putter. And then up here we have a very traditional putter grip. This feels like an EVA foam. It's very grippy, but for me, I was a little surprised that it had this grip on it. Some of the newer putters might have different grips on it, but for me, I think that those oversized, the big round putter grips are really the way to go these days. So kind of the skinnier pistol grip actually feels really small in my hands. I like that leading putter shaft look, and if you look at the blade here, same thing, right? So the shaft just leans forward a little bit. It's really good for alignment, and I have really preferred that. Some people prefer the straight, so we'll be trying that out in just a second. Now, the other one I want to quick show you here is their Tour Series Mallet model, and this is really cool looking. I love that the negative cutaway spaces here are color filled with green. It looks pretty cool. We also have what looks like our removable weights here, and I think they kind of say 5, I'll be honest. They are so flush, they almost look like they're just molded in there, but those might be movable and removable and adjustable weights here. Just a black finish all around. This one does not seem to have an insert on the face. It's just kind of this milled face here, these grooves right there, MLA right there. But then if we look at the top of this putter, what we get is a really nice black finish, but we get that MLA design that seems to be larger than it is on the blade model. So if I just hold up both of these, the black one seems to be a much thicker C-shape alignment aid. I actually really like that because it's just kind of very pronounced against this. It's got a really big punch out. The white on the black makes it really visible. Doesn't draw your eye away from anything. But if you want that really low center of gravity, these mallet putters are kind of the way to go. It does have a little inset piece right there that says MLA Golf. We have a bent hosel here, so we don't have a hosel coming out of the putter head like we do on this one. We have a bent shaft that goes into it, and that is obviously metal. And then again, kind of that same style pistol grip, again smaller than I would personally like. I think definitely a larger oversized grip here would be a nice way to go. I will also point out here that at address on this putter, you can see that the bent shaft is just slightly ahead, so it just leads the head a little bit. So basically that shaft is going to intersect right where the ball contacts the face, which is kind of nice. Now let's take them out to the putting green and see if this little C-shaped alignment aid really works. All right, so I'm out here on the putting green, and I've been playing around with these MLA putters, and I really like them a lot. First of all, let me just start with this blade style here, because one of the things that I really like about this is it's got a traditional shape, and I actually like blades better than mallets, but that's going to be a totally personal choice. Now, the thing about this is that I feel like you almost can't not line up to the hole because of the way that C shape kind of like creates a cupping action around the ball. I mean, I didn't even try to line up. I've got alignment aids on the ball. I'm not using any of those. And you can just kind of see that you're not turned towards the hole. So you can make these little tiny adjustments here. And then you feel with all of those different alignment aids, whether you are lined up or not. Now, it doesn't get more consistent than that. I'm not even going to move this ball back. I'm going to move up to it because the break will be a little different up here. And again, didn't quite stroke that hard enough, but the same thing goes for the mallet here, which has the bigger C shape on it. And again, when I twist it the wrong way, it just looks more egregiously off than if it's kind of cupped towards the hole. And so let's go for that long one right over there, that first long one. And again, I'll just look at this. I think it's going to kind of break right to left, but I'm just going to set up with the mallet putter here. And again, I'm not lining up with any type of aid on the ball or even a straight line on the putter, which surprises me. And that feels about right. So, well, I feel like the line was right, but I don't feel like I got the lag right. So it's been raining here and these practice putting greens are a little soft, but if I go ahead and follow up on this, again, even with the alignment aids on the ball, kind of confusing me a little bit. It's almost hard to be wrong with the alignment aid on the putter. Not bad. I tell you what, I think if you struggle with aligning your putts, this is just something that's going to help you do it really quickly and easily at a glance. And if you are a brand new golfer, and that's really what I got these for, I think you want to just take out all of the mumbo jumbo technical stuff and give people something that just works naturally, that they don't have to be trained on. And so I actually picked these up for my parents who were thinking about taking up golf in their later years and actually don't have time to take lessons and kind of get into the technical aspects. They just want to go out and enjoy it and have a good time. And so I think for experienced golfers or new golfers, these putters are absolutely a godsend. I'll tell you what, it kind of blows my mind that they work, but they absolutely do work. So if you want to pick up some MLA putters and maybe improve the alignment on your putting game, I think you'll be pretty impressed with them. I'll put a link to them in the description below. Peter Von Panda, out.
We can discover more and explore so much deeper. We can live better than ever things to be.